with the live stream.
We are the League of Women Voters. Thank you. And we are a nonpartisan, nonprofit, 105-year-old organization. So, oh boy. But anyway, thank you for coming tonight. I just wanted to say that we have pamphlets in the back. After you leave tonight, you're going to have some questions more about ranked choice voting. The League of Women Voters also fully supports national popular vote. And our book club is meeting next week and is reading a book called Let the People Pick the President. And it's written by an editor from the New York Times. It's really a brilliant history of the Electoral College, and I encourage you to read it. And they talk about how ranked choice voting just goes hand in hand with the national popular vote. That's a whole other discussion. It really, truly is. This is a lot to absorb tonight, but we thank you for coming. We do have a trifold in the back about the league. If you're interested in knowing more about us, we have a QR code in here. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram now. We're really moving along. And our website is just full of election information, voter information. So please follow us. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Shirley Jackson. I'm co-president with Ellen. You already on? Oh, I just have to hold it up further. Okay. All right. The League of Women Voters, Michigan, even closer. Yes. I really don't want to eat it. Okay. It does not currently have, there you go. Okay. Does not currently have a position on ranked choice voting, but the National League has their public policy positions on the League of Women Voters in their impact on issues publication, found on the National League's website, lwv.org. And now to introduce Pam. I have to introduce you first. Then I'll give. Okay. Okay, Pam Bethune. She graduated from Michigan State University, go green, with a degree in zoology and spent some years as a bookkeeper supporting her husband in his PhD work. She then followed him into his work with the US government and worked in the US embassies in Algeria and Korea for 4 years, gaining experience in living and working in non-American cultures. After this amazing time, she got an MBA from the University of Michigan. We won't talk about Go Blue, right? And worked producing vaccines and other pharmaceuticals. Returning to Michigan, she began working in the automotive industry, and after 30 years of executive level experience in the automotive industry, she is now happily just an auditor, auditing quality systems in the automotive industry. And when I'm not auditing, she says, I love my home life with my husband of over 40 years, our 3 spaniels, my garden, my embroidery, and quilting and tending our land. So welcome, Pam Bethune.
I'm a mentor with the University of Michigan, and whenever anybody calls me, I say, I'm the poster child for no career path. You know? So all of these young students, they call me, I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm like, don't worry about it. You're probably going to have 2 or 3 careers, just wing it. Do what you love and wing it, because you got to have fun. And in Algeria, we got to drive across the Sahara Desert. I mean, how many people get to camp across the Sahara Desert? Come on, it's cool. So we're here to talk about ranked choice voting. I started getting involved in that because how many of you think that our political system is wonderful? All right, right now, what are the words that you would use to describe our current political system? Pardon? Okay, okay, okay. The political system. Voting, different question. Okay, okay. Those are usually a lot of the words we hear. Effective isn't one of the ones we often hear, but we do hear it. So what is ranked choice voting? Ranked choice voting, you will hear, is used in several states. It's used in cities. It's used in many countries around the world. What it is right now, our political system is what's called plurality. That means whoever gets the most votes wins, whether it's a majority or not. So ranked choice voting is a methodology, and that's all it is a method to bring a majority. You have to win a majority to win the seat. I will give you several examples of some of that. But right now, in its basic, that's all it is. Is it a way so your vote always counts? How many of you have been in an election where you said, I want to vote for so-and-so, but they'll never win, so I won't vote for them. I'll vote for that person because that person will win. So you cannot vote your heart. I know people who wanted to vote for Nikki Haley. They didn't because they didn't think she'd win. I know people who in 2016 wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders. They didn't because they didn't think he would win. Whether you're on the right or the left or anywhere else, in our current system, you can't vote your heart. You have to vote, you have to game the system. Who do I think will win? And ranked choice voting gives you the chance to not do that. Gives you the chance to vote your heart, no matter what. By what? In one way, no, but one of the problems, we'll talk about safe districts. Thank you, we'll get to that. So most people use these words. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. For us, in ranked choice voting, so I said executive level in automotive industry. I was a director of quality for safety critical industries. Seat belts, airbags, steering systems, braking systems, seating systems. Basically, if it couldn't kill you, we didn't make it. My job was to run problem solving, to run and try to figure out how to fix something, how to make something leaner, how to make something more effective, how to make something less expensive while doing it really well. So the goal of what I taught people right, left, and sideways for years was fact-based, not opinion-based, fact-based problem solving. And this is what we always found, is it's usually a flawed system. There's a system problem and the system is flawed. Flawed system means flawed incentives equals flawed behaviors. And what we found with ranked choice voting was we don't hate the player. I've heard people say, I hate such and such politician. That's that. The politicians are playing the game they're in. They're stuck in that system. They're stuck playing that game. They have to play that game or they won't get reelected. So it's a flawed system. Flawed in system means flawed incentives, means flawed behavior. Let's take away some of that. Will ranked choice voting fix everything in our political system? Heck no, that's nuts. It's not going to happen. It will fix a little bit of it. The other thing I taught people was one step at a time. You can't fix it all at once because perfection is the enemy. Fix one thing. In Michigan, we ended gerrymandering. Yes. Politicians no longer pick their voters. So let's take the next piece of that puzzle and take a little chunk out of it. Let's change the system so that politicians can be who they want to be. They can follow their heart, their mind, not just play the system. So real quickly, we're going to go through some of this in detail. Majorities get split. And that's one of the reasons parties will say, oh no, don't run. You can't run. If you run, then our voters are going to be split and we won't win. Our party won't win. So you can't vote. You can't run. No. And we see that frequently. Don't run because they don't want majorities to get split. They can get split and do get split with plurality. Polarization, divisiveness, incivility. Ranked choice voting is not going to end all of that, but it's going to help. All right. Politicians who don't represent their community. That's if majorities get split. So if you're a liberal in a very conservative area, you do not represent your constituents. The same with the opposite. If you're a liberal in a conservative area, conservative in a liberal area, if you are elected because of the majority got split, you may not represent your community. And is that the right thing for your community? And voters feel disenfranchised. I know people who've said to me flat out, why bother voting? My guy never gets elected anyway. My choice doesn't count. I don't even bother. A lot of young people feel that way. And that's not good for our democracy. We need people to vote. At least I believe we do. So we want this system that puts a little more power back in the hands of the people themselves. So we think it will not transform politics totally. It will help it a little bit. So what does it mean? So here's the mayor of Candytown. So how people actually did the QR code and got the mayor of Candytown? I'm going to pull it up, and if you didn't, we can show you. This is what it will look like. So right now, I'll show you later, this is used in multiple places. Oh, that was the best vacation ever, man. That bear is a black bear, and see Craig standing there? That black bear was as close as Craig. And there were no fences, no nothing. That black, oh, so cool. Anyway, let me get back to this. I'm sorry, that was just the best vacation ever. Okay, now why aren't you showing? Fair? All right. I don't know why this is not showing up. I'm not a techie. Don't know why it's not showing. Can you help? Yeah. Well, maybe you think I gotta close this? I don't know why it's not showing. You can tell that I was in quality, not engineering, guys. You know, you can close that if you need to, and I can get back into it. But seriously, that was the best vacation ever. That was in British Columbia, right near Vancouver. We saw that male, and then there was also a female with a baby and a juvenile. It was so cool. All right, here we go. So thank you very much. Yay. Okay. So in a ranked choice voting, this is what it looks like. All of the candidates will show up, and you can then turn around and say, okay, who do I like? Let's see. I happen to like Skittles. I hate Kersey Special Dark. Heath is okay. Butterfingers is cool. And Kit Kats. Oh, Kit Kat. Okay. So once you've done that, it didn't stick. Oh, thank you. And you can write in. So the way what we're doing is we're proposing an amendment to the Michigan Constitution that it will allow ranked choice voting. And part of it, we will allow write-in because it's democracy. You should always have write-in. Yes, sir? Yes, both. So, and we'll get into that in detail. We'll get into that in detail. Great question. We'll get into it. Okay, so then you submit your results. Okay, so what happens with ranked choice voting is that there are what's called rounds. So let me go back to round one. So go back. Okay, you will notice that there are not 700 some people in this room. This is a compilation of all the results of all the town halls we've done. All right, so at this point in plurality voting, Skittles wins because Skittles has the most votes. Skittles wins. All right, so with ranked choice voting, nobody got, it's 816 now. So you see here, you need 816 votes to win. All right, so Skittles didn't get a majority. In our current system, Skittles wins. With ranked choice voting, what we're proposing is that the least number of number one votes gets kicked out. So if you voted for all five, your vote always counts, but it may not be your number one vote. If you voted Kit Kat for number one, for example, in our current system, you lost. Skittles won. But in ranked choice voting, you still have a vote. Let's see what happens in round two. And the last time I did this, by the way, was 756. So there's a lot more votes in there. I don't know who will win. All right. So back to round two. So round two, Kit Kat is now ahead of Skittles. But there's still nobody with a plurality. So we eliminated the least number of number one votes. So now we're going to eliminate the least number of number two votes. Or two, but all right. So round three, we're coming closer. Skittles was number one. Skittles would have won, but in plurality. Yes, sir? Ma'am. So if you voted for all five, you voted for everybody. You made a choice for everybody. So we're saying the least number of number ones got kicked out. So yes, we reallocate. See these green numbers here? 319 people got their votes reallocated, so to speak. No. Is now their number one choice or their number three choice is now their one choice. It just keeps going like that. Right. At the only time you don't have a voice is if you choose not to rank. And we do not force you to rank. Our amendment says we will not force you to rank everybody. You can rank just one if you want to. But if you do, then you lose your voice. With this system, you always have a voice. Yes, ma'am. And then you. Sure. I don't remember. That would require a memory. 415. All right. And then we go to round 2. And yes, ma'am, you had a question? Seconds. Okay. Okay. Because there are 3 election systems being used in Michigan right now. All 3 of them have the math in it already. So as soon as you rank them, it's in the computer system. There are 2 states, Alaska and Maine, use this for state elections. Their software doesn't have that. So what they do is they actually pack up the ballots into boxes and move them to the state capitals where they're counted again, because their software doesn't have that. If you don't trust election software, I have nothing to talk about. So, yeah, it's instantaneous, really. I mean, it's all math. It's all in the computer system. It's all being used right now. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so who did you vote for who's your number 3 choice, approximately? Pick one. Okay, so my number 3 choice was Butterfinger. So I wanted Skittle number 1, Kit Kat number 2, I think. Let's just say number 2. And then I had Butterfinger for number 3. So Hershey Special Dark was my number 5. So my number 5 vote got eliminated. Okay, my number 4 vote got eliminated. And so what it meant was that if I voted for, let's take another hypothetical. So I voted for Skittles number 1. So my vote still counts because Skittles is now number 2. First it was number 1, now it's number 2. But we had 33, we had 245 people who voted for Hershey's Special Dark. 33 of them had Butterfinger as their number 4. 52 people, so of these 245, 33 are here, 52 are there, 34 is there, 124 is there. Their votes still count because you've just reallocated. I don't know how to explain it better. You've just, yes, sir. No. So somebody voted for that person, say one of these 245 people, they voted for Butterfinger as their number 4 or number 1. So 33 of those votes are now here. So if your vote was number 5, say you were Hershey Special Dark, and that was your number 1 choice, you wanted that. Your number 1 choice is gone. They've been eliminated. Whatever your number 2 choice is now your number 1 vote. It's now your vote. Personally, your vote is now whatever your number 2 was. If your number 2 gets eliminated, your number 3 vote is now your vote. If that vote happens to be Kit Kat, your choice, your number 3 choice is winning. Each time it's simply reallocated to wherever you are in your ranking. Am I number 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5? Your vote always counts. Yes, ma'am. No, no, okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. Right. Right. So this is round 2. So this is counting whoever had Special Dark, they're gone. So there's no number 1s anymore. So we now look at number 1s. If my number 1's Kit Kat, if my number 1 is Kit Kat, then my vote is here. If my number 2 was Kit Kat, my vote is here. If I had number 1 down there. It is the same because your vote didn't get it eliminated. Your number one did not get eliminated because you chose this. If this was your number one, it got eliminated. But if you didn't, if you voted for them, your vote did not get eliminated. No, it still counts all the votes. It just says these were the least number one votes. This was the least popular person. The most people voted against was Hershey Special Dark. Let's go, you finish it. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it may be more clear. Yes. Yes. Yep. Because, right. Not quite, because there's something called an exhausted vote. Somebody didn't rank all five. That's the exhausted vote. They chose not to rank all five. Yes, sir. Not necessarily. It depends on, so this would be round three. Let's look at round three. So here, Butterfinger was eliminated because it got the least number. It was the least popular. Or at this point, they're third. At this point, it's their third choice. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. Right. And then everybody gets one. Everybody gets one. Yeah. And in the end, this happens to be the vote count. Kit Kat actually won a majority finally. Somebody finally won a majority. The key for us isn't who won. The key is that you always have a voice. No matter who's in there, you always have a voice. So, yes, ma'am? If they choose not to rank something that's called an exhausted vote, okay, right now, if your candidate loses, what happens to your vote? Doesn't count. It's gone. If you choose not to rank, then that vote, if it gets exhausted, doesn't count, just like today. You're good. Just like in today. If you vote for the wrong one, you lost. Right. Thank you. Sorry. I'm trying to get this back and technical difficulties, Amber. Hi, Ellen. Just shut it off. Yeah. Right. 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 Right now, there are many political parties. Yeah, there are many political parties here in Michigan. For example, there's the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, Natural Law Party, Constitution Party. There's a lot of parties out there, some right, some left, some middle. And right now, they're seen as spoilers. And well, that's why we like ranked choice voting. So let's talk about how it improves the plurality. So Luke Skywalker, Purple Party. All right. So, and then we have Darth Vader. He's the Yellow Party. Right now, Purple Party is a majority of all the voters. They want Luke Skywalker. So the Purple Party, but then, okay, then right now, Luke wins because majority wins, plurality elects a candidate, but doesn't have a majority, only 60%. 40% of the people want Darth Vader. So it's still not a majority. But now Leia wants in. So the Purple Party is going to say, Leia, don't run. You're going to split the majority. Leia, don't run. They're still a majority. They're still 60%. But now in plurality, guess who's going to win? Darth is going to win because they did split the majority. And right now, that's why people say, don't run, don't run. And it's just not a good way, in my opinion, to do it. With ranked choice voting, you have to force a majority. So in this case, Luke didn't get enough votes. So he'd be the least number one because Darth Vader got more. And then Leia, so he would lose. But this would be the final election. Let's talk about primaries. We'll get to that. So splitting majorities. Okay, this is the infamous hanging chads. We heard people say all over the place, Ralph Nader was a spoiler. He should never have run. Look at that, 537 votes. Every single party there got more than 537 votes. Every single party on there is a spoiler. So what do you see? Libertarian Party, kind of middle, Reform Party, pretty much a bit to the right, Natural Law Party, very right, Workers' World, pretty much left, Constitution right, Socialist, Social Workers left. Every single one of those parties made more votes than either one of the winners, either one of the top choice voters. Every one of them was a spoiler, not just one of them. Here's another example. Hillary Clinton, Kim Kaine, look at those. So virtually everybody was a spoiler. Again, write-in votes was a spoiler. You know, does this make sense? We don't think so. Here's an example. Shri Thanadar is currently in office. This was the primary. 72% of the people voted against him, and he's in office with 72% of the people voting against him. I know nothing about him. I don't know whether I like him or not. He's Detroit. But our point is that plurality means somebody with 72% of the voters voting against them is in office right now. I don't know how to pronounce his name, I'm sorry. Shri Thanadar, sorry. But that's how plurality works. This was the primary. No, we don't. Let's talk about that. So right now, plurality voters are one or the other. Right now, if I'm running in the Purple Party and there's two other people running and there's another purple person in the Yellow Party, if I'm in a district that's safe for the Purple Party, I don't care about the Yellow Party. I don't care about them. My opposition is the other two people in the Purple Party. So Peter Myers, excellent moderate Republican from Grand Rapids, lost the primary to somebody who lost in the main election. He was a very, very solid legislator, did solid work, worked with Alyssa Slotkin. There's a Problem Solvers Caucus, and they were in together. They went into the Problem Solvers Caucus together and worked together to try to actually make things happen. He got primaried out because of the primary. All right. Lots of people got voted out because primaries. Yes, sir. We're going to get into that. That's right. This next slide. Thank you. It's brilliant. I appreciate that. Right now, this is one of the reasons why, in my personal opinion, anti-gerrymandering was incredibly important. Politicians should not pick their voters. Right now, there's 62 million voters live in districts that are safe for the political party. Safe, absolutely safe. If you're a Democrat in the UP, you are not going to win. If you're a conservative in Ann Arbor, you are not going to win. These are safe districts. That's not going to change. However, with ranked choice voting, what can happen and what has happened is this. More people are encouraged to run. I think that's a good thing, although I will never run for public office again. That was a horrible experience. And when we say diverse candidates, we don't mean diverse in terms of race, age, or anything else. We mean even your political views. Can you be somebody? Libertarians very much want a less government. Right now, libertarians basically aren't going to win. You get more broadly appealing voters. Most, for me, the big one is less strategic voting. You're able to vote your heart, your mind. You're able to vote for who you think is best, whether they think they're going to win or not, because you can express yourself and say, I want that person, even though I know they're probably not going to win. And your vote's always in play. Your vote always counts unless you choose not to rank. I'm going to go through those. This is what we found. So there's a lot of studies that show this. There's a lot of studies. In fact, somebody brought it to me in the last town hall I was at. And there were a lot of studies done in Maine and Alaska the year that they first started ranked choice voting. And it was very confusing to voters. And then when they did it again, this is what we saw. So voter turnout 17% higher. Why? Because people felt like their vote was always in play. Their vote counted. People felt less disenfranchised. 17% more valid. That's a huge impact. And these are the satisfactions. New York City, love it. Utah voters, that's being done in cities in Utah. Portland, that's Portland, Maine. Virginia, that's done in cities in Virginia. These are what people have found. And if anybody wants, I can give you the citations. I've got them. So if you want, I can give those to you. This is from data. Again, from the purple party. If I'm the purple party, if I'm in a safe district, I don't care about yellow party. We found this. Fewer negative words, more neutral words, more positive words. And frankly, I would love that. My opponent eats puppies. Come on, I'm pretty tired of some of that. Fewer personal attack, more issues. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear what they're going to do about the issues. What are the issues facing us as a country? How are we going to deal with those? One thing that we found in some of these ranked choice votings, I'll say, vote for me. I'm the best. But you can't vote for me. This person is a great person. Vote for this person right here. So they collaborate more. There's less negative stuff. It's not perfect. There's still negativity, but better. So where is it right now? All right. 2 states, Alaska and Maine, did it. They opponents try to repeal effort. Alaska, it was thoroughly thrown down. 13 million voters in the purple states. These states here, they use ranked choice voting for all their overseas and military voters because that's how they do instant runoff. So why only them? I don't know. Ask somebody from one of those states. But those are used, ranked choice voting is used all over there. So next. So what are we proposing? Right now, there are 5 cities that have voted to use ranked choice voting. They are not allowed to use it because there's a law in the state of Michigan that says how ballots are created. And that law says you can't do this. Ferndale voted for it in 2005. So one of the questions ranked choice voting has is, are we going to go after that law and change that law so that these cities can do what they want to do with their ballot? And we decided not to. We decided to go for the whole enchilada and go for ranked choice voting across the state. All right, so here's our plan. We've done all of this stuff. We talked to people. I wasn't part of that. I wasn't part of this during all of those negotiations. But this is our goal. We're going to put together a constitutional amendment. It's written now. All governor, presidential, U.S. Senate, House, Secretary of State, Attorney General. So all state and federal offices have to use ranked choice voting for both the primary and the main election. So primary and the main election use ranked choice voting. You are still allowed to do straight ticket voting if you wish to do straight ticket. Perfectly allowed. All the other offices, It's how it's done now, plurality. Localities would be allowed to pick their own. Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. Okay, so judges, so if there's a judge election, it's just like it is now. It's not ranked choice voting. It's just like it is now. All right. Localities can do what they want. If they want to do ranked choice, they can use ranked choice. If they don't vote for that, they don't vote for that. It's what the people of that community want. Anybody can run as an independent, although that's really difficult. Allow straight ticket voters. If you want to do straight ticket voting, you can do straight ticket voting. And require the legislator to allocate funding. We don't need funding specifically for a lot of the election software because the software can already do it. You probably have to pay for getting that module, but we do want that. Sure. No, for the federal and state, they can't. No, they don't. But if they choose for their own city elections to use ranked choice, they can use ranked choice. If they don't want it, they don't want it. It's what the voters want. Yes, ma'am. If they want to, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to. That's their choice. That's what the voters in those communities want or don't want. I won't force them to do it. All right, so that's what we want. How do we get there? So we finalized the ballot, that's ready, and we're going to start a signature drive. In order to get on the ballot, you have to have a certain number of signatures. Those number of signatures is set by law. And I frankly don't know which law it was. I think it's the number of people who voted in the last governor's election or something like that. But there's the number of signatures, valid signature you have to get is based on the state law. And some of those signatures will be ruled invalid. Does anybody remember when Harry Johnson ran for governor? And he was eliminated because his signatures were invalid. Some of those signatures will be invalid. There'll be somebody who says that they're from Ann Arbor and they're not from Ann Arbor, or they'll write down Mickey Mouse. You know, some of the signatures will be ruled invalid. So the people running the campaign have said we need around 611,000 signatures to put it on the ballot at all. And then once it's on the ballot, we have to get people to vote for it. We need 2,200,000 people to say, yes, I want this, or it fails. It's that simple. And so that's where we are now. Right now, what we're doing is teaching people, what does ranked choice mean? I've heard people say, it's leftist. I've heard people say, that's nuts. I've heard somebody say, those are all funded by Republican mega donors. And I've heard somebody else say, you know, so there's all kinds of rumors and crap out there. So this is all about saying, this is what it is. All it is a way to say your vote always counts. No matter what, your vote counts. We don't care which party you vote for. I know people in this group who are solid Republicans. I know people who are solid Democrats. Most are solidly, I'm an independent, babe. We're nonpartisan. We are absolutely grassroots. Most of the funding comes from us. So I paid for the printing of that stuff. We don't have mega donors. We have us. And we will be going out asking for volunteers to collect signatures. Yes, ma'am. There's a law that says how many days from when you start to when you end. I think it's 180 days. You have that to get those signatures. And then you send them into an office that vets them and it says, checks them all to make sure they're good or bad. Him and then you. Because it's very long and I don't have it. Yeah, the actual, I'm sorry, I forgot to do it. He asked, why can't we read the actual ballot language? Where? I think it's, I haven't checked it myself, but I think it's at rankmyvote.org. rankmyvote.org. I think it's there. Okay. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Question number one. All right. So the question was, there were people who put amendments on the ballot in the last election, which was a presidential election, and it was voted down by voters. Rank My Vote told them not to do that in a presidential election because presidential elections are very divisive, very split. And what they found is that in many, many cases, almost anything that's an amendment to a constitution in those presidential elections gets voted down. So that's probably the answer. Right. Right. Rank My Vote. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Valid point. It's nonpartisan, then we don't care who votes, who wins. If a Republican wins in ranked choice, they can win. I have no idea because I wasn't part of that whole thing when it started. So I can't answer that question. But what I will say here is there are 7 Republican-led states that use it right now. All of those southern states use it right now for overseas and military voters. If it's okay for them, why isn't it okay for everybody? That's the instant runoff is one reason why those states have chosen it for their overseas and military voters. Because with that system where they have to come back and vote again, all of those voters will be completely disenfranchised if they don't use ranked choice voting. They have to use it there, you and then you. Twice or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Right now, the software will basically, just like the computer that I was doing said, problem, it'll stop you. And yeah, if you choose not to vote, you can do that. But if you choose 2 people in the same rank, it will stop you. No, it will not. If you, yeah, it won't let you do it. So if you rank 2 people number 1, the system will not allow you to do that. It will say, stop that. Either take one out and just don't vote for anybody else, or rank somebody else number 2, 3, or 4, 5. So, all right. So her first, then you. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. That I can't go into the detail because I don't know. All right. So, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And by the way, one quick one, personal. I worked in the Reagan administration for Ronald Reagan's government. I have voted for many Republicans in my life. I voted for Democrats in my life. I am a dedicated independent because I try to vote for the person, not the party. My yard has a sign that says country over party. I don't care about each political party. What I care about is the best person. So your question on primaries, what was that again, please, sir? Oh, right. Yeah, right. Okay. He lost the primary. In that case, the opponent would have, no matter what ranked choice, he'd have won. Yeah. So that would not have won. Yeah, I didn't know how much he won by. And your question, ma'am? Yes. Okay. Right. 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 Okay. That I do not know the details for that. I'm sorry, I don't know the detail for that. Yeah. Yeah. I suspect it would be a spoiled ballot. But how that process works, I'm afraid I do not know the details. I'm sorry for you. Okay. Okay. Right. Oh, okay. Probably by looking at everything else. Yeah. Okay. That I do not know. So I don't know that answer. Yeah. That sounds like a really boring job. I'm sorry. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I do not know the answer to that. But that is one thing. What we're doing is I write down questions people ask that I can't answer. And so then at the next presentation, I'll have an answer. So thank you for those. Yeah. And I'll have an answer, I hope, by then. April 9th. That would require a memory. I'm not sure. I think it's, no, April 9th. No, I'll be driving to Traverse City that day. Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Right. 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 No. Yeah. Hold on, guys. Yeah. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Yeah, because right now there will still be a primary and you use ranked choice voting in the primary for those. That's how Alaska is doing it. Well, that may happen in many areas. That when I showed you with the Shri Thanagar who won, everyone on there was a Democrat. And that happens. If you're in a very safe Democratic area, they're all going to be Democrats. If you're in a safe Republican area, they're all going to be Republicans. That's the way that's not going to change with ranked choice voting. It's not going to change it. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Right. Okay. Right. You may be right. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. He might have. Right. 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 That was too long ago for me to remember. Well, right. Right. So what can happen? It's not clear. So hang on one second with that. So right now, what we see happen in Alaska and Maine and cities is, as I said earlier, somebody would say, vote for me. But if you can't vote for me, vote for this person from my party because I think they're great. So in that hypothetical election, Rick Schneider, maybe he would have, and John Cox would have collaborated together and campaigned as a team. I don't know, but that can happen. And so what you can see is there's more incentive to collaborate with the members of your own party, especially if you're in a safe district. If your district is safely Republican, and once a Republican wins the primary, they're going to win the general. That's what's going to happen. Then the Republicans have an incentive to work together to say, you know, come on, vote for me. If you can't vote for me, vote for this person. It's not party based. It's about who can attract the majority of voters. Hang on, she's first. The primary is a closed primary. To vote in a Republican primary, you have to say, I want to vote in a Republican primary. And that will not change. They can. Sure, they could. Yeah. We don't stop people from, yeah, we're not going to stop people from doing that if they want to run. Right. So you had a question, ma'am. So we'll get to you in a second. You had a question a minute ago that I didn't get to. Or did you get answered? Not you. You did. Yeah. Okay. It might have been answered. Okay. Right. Right. In the primary or in the final election? Okay. They're going to rank all three in the final. The primary, there won't be, because they would have been, he's right. The primary will say there's only one Democrat, but there may be a libertarian. Pardon? No. So there's a Republican primary, there's a Democratic primary, there's no Libertarian primary, there's no Green Party primary. Right. So in the primary, there's ranked choice voting. Only the highest ranked Republican will come onto the ballot. Only the highest ranked Democrat will come onto the ballot. But that ballot may include Green Party. The final may include Libertarians, Green Party, Natural Law Party, any of those, one of each. Once we get there, yes. But in ranked choice voting, say, let's just use Libertarians as an example. Right now, they have no chance of winning, basically. All right. So if you're a Libertarian candidate, you may have a chance to win now. Maybe. Depends on if you can get a majority of people. But maybe so right now, because people game the system. So right now, nobody's going to vote for a Libertarian because they're going to say they're never going to win. But what if that's where your heart really is? Right. But what if your heart is really with the Libertarian Party and you want to vote for them? Now you can. You can rank them number one. You can rank a Republican number two. You can rank whoever, but you can still vote for where your heart is, not gaming the system. And maybe one of those third parties would have a better chance of winning than they do now. I mean, some of those parties, man, they just have no chance. All right. And a third choice, yes. So yes, ma'am. Yeah. And that's gaming the system. That's what people do right now. They game the system. And that's what we want to try to reduce or eliminate. Right. Right. All of that software has those votes in it. How they deal with that and spoiled votes, I don't know, but I will find out. Sure. Yeah. So I will find out. And so April 9th, when I think it's Chris Potts who's going to be leading it, we'll make sure that he knows that's a question that people want answered, because I don't know the answer yet. Hang on, she was first. Right. And that's part of what we hope will happen. That's part of what we've seen happen in some areas. And you had another question. Physically, the physical structure, it will look like the mayor of Candytown. So you'll have all the circles. How that will fit into the ballot, I don't know. It will look just like that. It will look just like you saw in the mayor of Candytown. Candidate, circles. I don't know what it will look like.
It's almost 7.
Right. So thank you. These were excellent questions. I appreciate you. Yes.